soldiers, they would set up makeshift playing fields during breaks from duty, wherever they were. The form of chuji, most popular with them, was the aggressive gladiator style. Players could tackle each other to gain possession of the ball, much like modern soccer. When chuji became popular with the common man, it would often be played in the baida style. Players would stand in a circle and try to keep the ball in the air for as long as possible, even resorting to acrobatics to do so. The version of chuji that's played today involves 2 teams of 6 players each on opposite sides of a net, strung 3 meters above the ground. The goal is an 85-centimeter hole in the net. Players keep the ball in the air without the use of their hands and score by propelling the ball through the hole.
This is how Cuji is played today. This follows the competitive style of the game that was popular in the Tang Dynasty. As it turns out, Cuji, like Chinese cuisine, had many flavors.
Given that the 2 sports, though separated by centuries, have much in common, Jing Chu set up an informal 2-a-side match to find out how soccer players would fare in chuji. First, the 2 chuji novices get some basic training on ball handling and learn the rudiments of the game.
你看那个球门，大概是3米高吧，这么样大。
Then they try juggling the balls themselves and realize it takes some getting used to. Now it's time to play. It's ancient chuji exponents versus modern soccer players. Scoring at soccer is hard enough, but the relatively smaller and higher chuji goal requires even more precision and accuracy. If Jingchu's experiment achieved anything, it was to introduce 2 Chinese soccer players to a game that's not only part of soccer heritage, but their own culture.
觉得虽然我现在是足球队员，但是觉得蹴鞠，还是和足球有很大的不同的，因为它不能让足球落到地上，而且它的球门也非常的小，射门是非常困难的。
其实之前看别人玩蹴鞠的时候，似乎觉得非常的简单，感觉和足球很相似，但是实际上自己去玩的时候就觉得非常的难。其实你不让蹴鞠落在地上，这是一件非常难的事情，因为力量控制你需要非常的协调。所以说，我觉得如果说一个人足球踢得很好，就不一定他蹴鞠也能踢得很好。
Jingchu has appreciated chuji from a distance, but to fully understand the finer nuances, she needs to find an expert practitioner of the sport. And Linzi is just the place to find such a person. Ren Yuangang coaches chuji in local schools and intimately knows all the ins and outs of the sport.
告诉我，就是像这些玩法和规则，就是有参考什么古代的文献啊，或者什么记载吗？
哦，这个有，它是由宋代的这个王元成的一个叫《蹴鞠图谱》，就是这个。
哦，你还带来？
你看它里边有这个比赛场地，是吧？
哦，对。
再就是这个门，主要是这个门啊，它这个单球门的对抗性的这个场地啊是长16米，宽6米。哦。它分为左右军，也叫左棚右棚。裁判呢有值宾，还有副值宾。打的时候，他的球员的位置还有那个名称啊，都有很详细的要求和职责。
那什么样就算是，比如说对方赢了，或者
他这个赢球就是通过这个笑色，起球以后由球头把这个球渡过风流眼儿，这就胜一筹。再有啊，就是他靠什么正负协，还有散力啊。这几个球员呢，给他救球，他们负责是帮助这个球。
只要在这边落了地了就输了吗？
对，落地啊就是对方胜一筹。
The similarities between soccer and chuji extend beyond the playing field. Like soccer today, chuji in ancient China began to develop a subculture that revolved around the sport. In modern China and elsewhere in the world, legalized gambling on soccer is a big draw. Similarly, gambling and chuji games in ancient China was also a big part of the sport. In order to play chuji professionally, one had to join a club, not unlike today's soccer clubs, and learn from more experienced players. In fact, so popular did chuji become in China that it even had its own deity, Qing Yuan Miao Dao Jin, to whom prayers were offered before each game to ensure a good result. There were even fanatical chuji players like Xiang Chu, who played against his physician's orders and paid dearly with his life. Today, not only is professional soccer a big business, but the sale of club memorabilia is a highly lucrative spin-off. And you'll find almost anything and everything with club colors and motifs for the die-hard fan to acquire. Travel back thousands of years, and you'll find that chuji was not much different. The ancient Chinese love for the sport was apparent from the chuji-related designs emblazoned on all sorts of everyday household items. From coins to plates, pillowcases to flower vases. Today's soccer stars are international celebrities who command the adulation of millions of fans around the world. Ancient chuji too had its heroes, men like Gao Qiu. He was a commoner with uncommon chuji skills. So adept was he in the sport that a local governor conferred upon him the title of court official. Men weren't the only ones who were good at chuji. During the Tang Dynasty, many women were engaged in the game as well. In fact, there's a story about a girl who was so adept at this ancient game, she defeated a group of soldiers with a skillful play. Needless to say, the men were less than thrilled.
As chuji became more of an everyman sport in ancient China, it also attracted to it negative elements. What was a national passion will become a national obsession.
In time, chuji's runaway popularity in ancient China exposed the darker side of the sport and the subculture it spawned. Vices flourished. To put an end to Chinese society's downward spiral, steps were taken that would trigger the demise of chuji. This is possibly the first international soccer match, a game of chuji played between China and Japan. The type of chuji probably played was the 5 goals aside variety. Both teams had 5 goal areas and 5 goalkeepers to defend them. Because of the intense difficulty of scoring anything at all, a single successful goal determined the winner of the game, much like the sudden death round in modern soccer. But how did the Japanese learn to play chuji? To find out, Jing Chu is off to meet an expert on China's old trade routes. Professor Valerie Hansen believes these old channels of international trade could well have been the transmitter of not only goods, but aspects of Chinese culture like chuji to the outside world. According to